All right, guys, we're back again. We just got done fleshing the skin, and now we got to sew up a couple of the holes in there. I was just going to go through that with you and show you it's not real hard to do. So let's get started. So you can see here's the coyote skin. Got a couple holes. Got one here, right over here, and then we got one bigger one right here where the animal was shot. This one here I did while I was skinning it, so we're gonna fix that up. I just basically use a regular needle, like you buy it from the store. It's a needle set for leather and whatnot. And then I just use regular floss for my rope, my string. Just this floss right here works good. Hopefully that light's not getting in the way here. Let's move this around. Here we go. So what we're going to do is we'll start on this hole here. What I do is just obviously it's a start at the very end. Okay, try to get as much of the fur into the hole as you can, obviously. Trick for that, which I saw somebody else do on YouTube, was you go ahead and take water and pour it on the fur there, and then the water dampens the fur, and then you can basically control it a lot better. All right, I made a mistake there. I went through a little fiber on the other side. So let's do that again. So right there, okay. And then just bring, obviously, the string through, tie a knot. All simple stuff there that I'm sure everybody could figure out on their own. But you'll see that it's not very hard to stitch a coyote nicely, or any type of animal that is, that you've shot and you've got a hole in. Okay, put your needle through again. Come back through. Okay, I'm taking my glasses off. I can see better without them. And then you just keep going. You don't have to go like right next to the next stitch. I mean, you can go like an 1/8 inch away, and I mean that's more than adequate. When the skin dries, it's going to be nice and tight. Okay, and if you sew it, you know, it's like I said, and you're going to sell these to the fur buyer. You know, if they run a comb through it and they feel a hole, you know, they're gonna dock you. Okay, because they'd rather have, you know, trapped coyotes obviously than shot, because the fur is in much better shape because it has less holes, right? But if you sew them and they don't see them, then it's not a big deal. Okay, so I put my thimble on. I forgot. Okay, again, go through. Try to get above the hair when you're doing it, so that, you know, the hair is going to be on the bottom side, or it's not going to be you know, pulled through the skin side. And then also, this is the stomach here, so it's not really the best part of the coyote. Obviously, they're not really buying the coyote for the stomach hair. They want the back, but you still want to provide a nice presentation. You don't want to give them a coyote that's got holes everywhere. So we're going to go ahead and sew it up. Okay, there we go. We're done sewing that. Now we're just going to tie it off. I'll show you a real easy way to do this. Basically this, you hold the loop right here like this. You wrap your sewing thread around it, and then you go through the loop. Okay, and then you pull it, and you cut it, and that's going to hold it tight there because it's basically binding on itself. Okay, you can see that didn't take long. Now we'll get this hole here. It's a little bigger hole. Yeah, and the stomach skin is very, very thin skin, all right? And it's very, very easy to poke your needle through and get it going. But once you start getting up toward the neck skin is very, very heavy. It's a thicker skin. And it takes a lot more to get the needle through, and that's why we, you know, have the thimble on. Don't really need it here as much, but when you're working up there, you do. Or you can use, you know, your needle pullers right here. These work good as well. And but right now we don't need those because this skin here is not very, very thick, so we're able to do it just by hand. You can see it doesn't take that long to stitch the coyote. and it's worth doing, you know, because then you get the highest value for these skins when you sell them. And you saw that was a fairly big hole, that hole where the exit wound was, and you're going to see it's not going to take all that long to sew here. Okay. And if you get a small hole like that entry hole, I mean, honestly, they tell you if it's not bigger than a dime size hole, you don't have to sew it. That's general rule of thumb. But I don't know, it just bothers me if there's a hole in it, so I pretty much sew everything. And you'll see when we get to that here in a second. You know, it's only one or two stitches, and it's closed. So I mean, for what it takes you to do it, the time, to me, it's worth, you know, it's worth doing it. Okay, so there we go. Now you're gonna flip it. Okay, where's that other hole? I know it's here somewhere. It was so small you can't even find it. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, you can see it's tiny, but again, you know, let's just sew it up here. It's gonna take, you know, just a second. The longest part of this process is going to be tying this knot here. Okay, I've got that done. Okay, so now it's going to be basically one stitch. And if I wanted to, I could end there, but I'm going to go 2 stitches. Okay, and then I'm just going to tie off right here. So it's basically 2 stitches, and then the knot. Do 2 loops. Go through the big loop. 2 circles around into a big loop. There it is. Okay, and we're done. Okay. And this hole down here, I'm not worried about. This fur is not used for anything, so it'll just be most likely thrown away. So we're not going to worry about that at all. But you can see, it didn't take long to stitch this coyote. So well worth the trouble of doing it, because you get a better product, and the fur buyer likes you better because you don't have any holes in your skin. All right, so with that, guys, gonna wrap it up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.